Christmas is right around the corner and I have so many fun ideas that I want to share with you this year. So my goal for December is to post a video every other day until we get to Christmas. So fingers crossed, here's hoping I can get them all done. I have a lot of fun things planned. I have some quick videos. Some of you have been asking if I like to do paper crafts, and I do. So I have some paper craft ideas that I've already filmed and I'm so excited to share with you. Today I have just a quick video on some quick and easy ornaments that you can make for your Christmas tree. These ornaments were inspired by ornaments that I have that were from my grandma. She actually made them. So I gave them a little twist and made them my own. And I'm really excited to share them with you because they're very special to me. All right. I hope you're excited. You know I am. Let's get started. This first ornament that I want to make is a little angel that my grandma had made. And you can see here, it's pretty simple. This is fabric that is the base of her dress. I believe my grandma starched it and pleated it and ironed it. That's a little too much work for me, so I'll show you what I'm going to do instead. And then there's some lace pieces for her wings. And then her little face is on a wooden bead, and I'll show you how I'm going to draw that. I do want to apologize because my voice sounds a little weird. I am getting over something, so I am a little nasally. I hope you'll bear with me. The first thing I did was take a piece of cardstock. This is patterned Christmas cardstock, and it measures 3 inches by 7 inches. And I'm going to use some tulle instead of lace, and I have some pipe cleaners here too. If you have a scoreboard, if you do a lot of paper crafts, you could just put this piece of cardstock into your scoreboard and score it every quarter or half an inch. But I wanted to make this an easy craft that didn't take a lot of fancy tools. So instead, I'm eyeballing where about a half an inch is from the end. I'm using my ruler just to help get this first fold started. So you can see I'm laying my ruler here, and I'm going to bend the cardstock up over my ruler to help create a better crease on that end. And then from there, I'm just going to fold back and forth accordion style using that first fold as my guide. This doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that all of your pleats are about the same width, but if they get a little bit off, it'll be okay. It'll all adjust itself in the end. And I just kept accordion pleating until I got to the other end of the cardstock. Once all of my pleats were in place, I just used a craft clip to hold everything together. And then I wanted to get started on the wings. So like I said, I am using tulle here. This is about 6 inches wide. I took my ruler and I'm just eyeballing about 2.5 inches. So I laid my ruler down, got my scissors, and cut a strip of the tulle. If you don't have a roll of tulle, you could use a larger piece of tulle. Just cut it to about 2.5 by 6. I did the same thing with the tulle that I did with the paper. I just started at one end and I just started pleating this the whole way down. I kept pinching it in the center. It's a little bit harder to work with than the paper because the creases don't stay, but I just took my time and I folded back and forth until I had the whole piece of tulle pleated. Then I added it next to my paper that I had folded, and I held that in place with the clip also. And then I just needed to repeat that one more time with a second piece of tulle. I cut it again to about 2.5 by 6 inches, and I started pleating from the center until I got the whole way to the other end. And then I also used that same craft clip to hold all 3 pieces together. So you can see the base of our angel is starting to form. We have our dress that's made out of paper, and then we have our 2 little tulle wings. To join all 3 of my pieces together, I'm using a pipe cleaner. I just grabbed a white one. You could use whatever color you like. And they're about 12 inches long, which is way too long for what I needed. So I folded it into thirds so that I would have 3 pieces that measured about 4 inches. Then I took my little bundle that I had clipped together and I lined everything up so that the wings stuck up above the dress just a bit. And then I moved down about 3/4 of an inch from the top, and I placed my pipe cleaner around all 3 pieces. And on the back side, I just gave it a few twists, cut off the excess, and pushed the pipe cleaners down so they wouldn't be sticking out. On the angel that my grandma had made, I'm really not sure if she painted this little face on the wooden bead or if she bought it that way. I had some plain wooden beads in my stash, so I figured I would just draw on my own face. I'm using a really fine tip black permanent marker, and instead of doing circles for the eyes with little eyebrows, I'm just doing 2 small arches to make it look like my angel's eyes are closed. And then using a red Sharpie, I liked how the mouth on the other angel was. It was just a simple red dot, so I repeated that with my red marker. Now I needed to create a little halo for my angel, so I'm taking a gold metallic pipe cleaner this time, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm folding it into thirds so that I had about a 4-inch piece of pipe cleaner. I took one of them and I just wrapped it around my finger to create a circle, and then with the excess that was left over, I bent it at 90 degrees so that the circle would be laying flat on top of the pipe cleaner stem. I had enough length on the stem of the pipe cleaner that I was able to put it right through my little face, which was just a wooden bead. And then to attach it to the body, I found the center at the top of the paper pleats. I added just a dab of hot glue inside that crease, and I slid the pipe cleaner down inside to hold it in place. And this was such a fun and simple, easy craft, and I was really excited to recreate something that my grandma had made that was really special to me. And I was happy to use up some of my scrapbook cardstock because I don't know if you have a big stash of paper like I do, but I'm always looking forward to new ways of using it. And I did use tulle as her wings, but you could also use lace too. I just didn't have any lace on hand that was wide enough to create the wings. So here they are side by side, my grandma's angel and mine. The next two ornaments that I have that my grandma made are pretty simple, and they're great if you have kids around that you want to craft with because there's no hot glue required. These are just beaded ornaments. You can see one's a wreath, one's a candy cane, and they're just made from beads and pipe cleaners. Now these beads are a little bit different. They have 3 prongs on them. Think of the fidget spinners that kids like to play with. That's kind of the shape of these beads. I wasn't sure if I would be able to find these, but I did find some pretty big packs of them at Hobby Lobby, and I also found some on Amazon, so I'll make sure I link those below if you can't find any at your local craft stores. I wanted to start with the candy cane first because it's the simplest one to make. I'm using some of those 3-pronged beads. This pack that I got from Hobby Lobby, the plastic isn't clear, it's more opaque, so this is a solid red and a solid white. And it's really simple to create candy canes. You can do any kind of striped pattern you want. For this one, I'm just doing 3 red beads, 3 white beads, and repeating that pattern until I had the candy cane the length that I liked. Now that my candy cane is long enough, I can pinch the ends. So all I did was lay the pipe cleaner flat across the surface of the beads and then fold it back on itself to form a crimp. And then I snipped off the excess, and that was all it took to make sure that the bead wouldn't come off the end. I did that on one side, and then I moved to the other end and I did the same thing. You can see here I laid the pipe cleaner flat over the surface of the bead and then just pinched it back on itself to form a little crimp at the end, and I cut off the excess. And because there's a pipe cleaner running through the center of this candy cane, I was able to just bend it right into the traditional shape of a candy cane, which is an upside down J. The process for making the wreath ornament is similar to the candy cane. You can decide how you want the pattern on your wreath to go. For the first wreath that I made, I decided to use 4 of the green beads and then 1 of the red beads to act as a berry and as a spacer. And then I just repeated that pattern until I had a length long enough to round out a wreath. So you can see here, I started with 4 green beads. I added 1 red bead to look like a berry, and then I'm starting in with the green beads again. And like I said, I just created that so that it was long enough to form into a ring. I'll show you 2 different ways to finish out these wreaths. For this first one, once I had enough beads on my pipe cleaners, I just took the 2 ends and twisted them together, and I formed the circle a bit. And then with the excess length of pipe cleaner that was sticking out of the top, I went up a few inches as far as I could to the ends of the pipe cleaner, and I gave them another twist, and then that way it created a hanger for my wreath so that I could drop it down from one of the branches on my tree. So you can see here towards the top of the pipe cleaners, I just gave it a few extra twists, and then that created a circle that I would be able to hang this wreath from. And because I used that excess pipe cleaner to create a hanger rather than a bow, I did grab a piece of red gingham ribbon that I had in my stash, and I created just a simple bow, and I am using a dab of hot glue here to attach it to the top of my wreath. Another Another way to finish out these wreaths is to do everything the same up into the point where you twist the two excess ends together, but instead of forming a loop at the top, you're actually going to form two smaller loops to imitate a bow and give those a few twists, and then now you'll have two little bow loops and two little bow tails. And you can see on this second wreath I changed up the pattern a bit. Instead of doing a green wreath, I decided to do a clear white and red wreath. So it's really easy to change these up. You can do a bunch of different patterns and styles to fit your taste. I wanted to show you quickly how changing up the different patterns of beads that you use really changes the look of these ornaments between the wreaths and the candy canes. I did a couple of each kind with some of the clear beads and with some of the opaque beads. And also for the angels, just switching up the style of scrapbook paper you use really changes up the look of the angel. And you can see on my grandma's original angels, she used blue fabric, which is kind of an untraditional Christmas color. So it's really nice that you can customize these to fit whatever color decorations you like to use. All right, now let's go put them on my Christmas tree.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been...
Thanks so much for coming to hang out and craft with me today. If you need more Christmas inspiration, check out one of the videos I left on the screen. All right, everyone, have a great week, and I'll talk to you in the next one.